Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. John Megacycle here. Actually, not another episode. Such a force of habit, sorry. A new series of Concrete Jungle coming at you. I picked up this off of a Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle. Okay, cool, I said it. A Humble Bundle just recently. And to be absolutely honest, I didn't expect a lot. This was bundled into a Builder Gamer Pack. And I was like, this one looks interesting. Let's give it a try. Let's see what this is about. And popped it open, and I was like, man, not too bad. Maybe not my kind of game. Played it a bit more, and I was like, you know what? This has enough charm to it. It's got enough feeling to it that I do want to record it. And I didn't feel that way when I first got into it, but I think I'm like 3 or 4 missions in, and then I was like, you know what? What the heck? Let's give it a go. Let's see where it takes us. I don't know if I'll beat it, but it's a game I wanted to show off, and I shown, I think my very first game series I ever did, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever, was Build a Lot, which was another game that was just like quirky. It was fun, it was quick, it wasn't terribly difficult. It was a game I used to just like pick up and play for like a day or two and then just put away. I don't know how this one feels on me, but I like it so far. So let's just start the campaign, get a couple of missions in, get a couple of episodes, see what we feel about it, see how it jives on us, see what we think. If we got good feels, we'll keep going. We'll make a full series out of it. If we're like halfway through, it's like, it's a good game, it's not really John Megacycle material, we'll just say, hey, had a good run of it, awesome. So let's just have fun. Oh, the cool thing is, I'm not going to have to do any of the narrating. This is all full narration, so I'm pretty darn happy with that. Greetings from Caribou City, population 50K. I should maybe explain the point of the game. This is like a deck building, city building game. You have certain cards. The cards represent structures. Structures need to be placed in certain areas to gain points. You need a certain amount of points for the game to progress, and then based on how many points you've attained results in your final score. That's a really grunty way to explain this, but you'll see as we get going. So, let's start. Hollyville.
Welcome to the small town of Hollyville. My name is Lainey, and I'm here to show you the ropes.
Hi, lady.
Looking around is pretty easy. You can use the right mouse or the keyboard's cursor or W, A, S, and D keys.
Whoop, whoop.
You can also zoom in and out using the mouse wheel or the R and F keys.
Whoop, whoop.
In front of you, there is a small grid upon which you can place buildings.
Yep.
Those buildings are determined by a series of cards. Let's draw some now and get started. That will do nicely.
So over here, Lainey will explain, and I do want to step through the full thing and kind of want this to be more of a calm introduction series as opposed to just bulldoze through and just play. She'll go through the whole tutorial. There's going to be explanation as we play more missions, more mechanics will be unlocked. So I'm just going to shut up and let's just enjoy the ride.
At the top here is the next card in your build list. It's a school, pretty useful. On the card is a small 3x3 grid with a building icon in the middle. This displays the building's effect on its adjacent tiles. Blue squares represent +1 point, so the school will give +1 points to the tiles immediately adjacent to it.
Select the school.
With a card selected, you can now place it. Notice how the blue highlights represent the area effect as displayed on the card. Let's put the school here. You'll notice there are now some plus score markers on the empty tiles that were affected by the school. If we place point-collecting buildings on those positive scoring tiles, we'll get points. It just so happens the next card in your build list is a houses card. By far the most common point-collecting building. Notice how it tells you on the card if the building collects points or not. So let's get some points.
By the way, I'm also really enjoying the narration because Lainey does a much better job explaining how this game operates than I ever could. So, instead of me gawking at you for the next half hour, yeah, enjoy the ride.
Great! We now have 1 point due to the combination of the school's area effect and the house. we have a target to reach for each column. Currently, that target is 2. You can see your current target right here in the top right. In order to fulfill that target for each column, we need to use a combination of buildings that affect their surroundings and point-collecting buildings. Next up, we have a car wash. This card also has some red squares, which means it will have a negative effect on those tiles. But crucially, it has positive effects in the places we need right now to bring our house up to 2. Select and place the car wash so that our house is given another point. We now have 2 points in the first column thanks to our house, school, and car wash. Also notice how the red negative area effect from the car wash canceled out one of the points from the school. Now the first column is complete. Look what happens. See that? The column has been cleared. That means you bank the points from that column, which are then multiplied and added to your total score. It also means you get a new empty column to build in here on the right. The immediate aim of the game is always to clear the first column, but you'll have to plan ahead with your building placements in order to do that for future columns. Those are the basics, but let me show you what happens if you forget to place a point-collecting building in a column. Fill this column with the following non-point collecting buildings. If any building area effects spill off the side of the grid, they will have no effect. You can use this to your advantage sometimes.
So exactly like she was saying, like with the factory, there's 4 reds, so I'm going to pick this and I'm put it over here. The square to the bottom left and the bottom right spill off the grid, so they don't do anything. So I can actually mitigate a lot of the effect of this structure without having to deal with it. In addition, if I place this and it hits the school isn't a point collecting building, so it actually doesn't matter at all. That's not important right now. We should just finish the tutorial, but you get the idea.
Now we have no point collecting buildings in this column. This will likely happen to you sometimes, but just to be clear, it's something you want to try and avoid. And not just because we have a brewery and factory next to a school. With no means of collecting points, this column cannot reach its target. Therefore, it's just going to sit there while we fill up the rest of the empty land. We need to force clear it. Once the first column is filled, you'll notice this little button flashing at you. All we have to do is click it to force clear. Great! However, force clearing isn't free, it costs you 1 life. You can see how many lives you have left here. Make sure you use your lives sparingly. Once you run out, you'll fail the level. Now see if you can complete past this column here using the next batch of buildings.
So, as I was saying, the game premise is fairly simple. We have cards, they represent structures, we place them in a certain order, we get points, we advance to the next level. It's a fairly chill game, and it's definitely one of those that's easy to learn, difficult to master, I would say. Let's go ahead and start stacking up, right? So I want a house here, because I know the school comes next. And that clears out another row. When Lainey said earlier that the points multiply, it's literally however many points you have on that row multiplied by itself. That's how many points you get. So we had 2 points. 2 times 2 is 4. We had the same thing the row before. We have a total of 8 points. If I were to get 10 points here, when this clears, 10 times 10 is 100. That gets added to our score up top. So that's about how that works. I'm just going to go through and play the rest of this level out. A supermarket here. Again, the red negatives spill off the grid, so it doesn't really matter. A house is here. And I'm going to see if I can peak up my points a bit here. A shop here. A school here. And one of the things that's a core mechanic in my mind when it comes to scoring points is I can continue to play the rest of the grid, and Lainey did mention this earlier, but I can play the rest of this grid until I clear this first one, then it'll advance. Or I should phrase that differently. The game would advance until I clear the first one. So I could just keep going. Houses, throw a car wash, get a brewery out of the way, put a factory somewhere else, More houses, another brewery. Let's see here. A supermarket, and then a house. So now instead of 222, so 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 2 is 4, and bonus, 6 times 6 is 36.
Like you're ready for the next challenge.
I've got a bunch of extra points, and it just says right here, combo successive column. I didn't read the whole thing. But successive clears in a row like that, bonus points. Okay. So, final score is 397. Not too bad, right? Okay. So every single mission has its own challenges. In this case, I needed 100 points for 3 stars. I got well over that. Awesome, right? So solo mode, again, simplified. So this is going to be incorporating a little more terminology, a little more mechanics. I need 260 points. Let's get started. Luther Fields.
Since you did such a good job at Hollyville, well, apart from the whole school, factory, brewery debacle, which was kind of my fault, I've hired you to develop in the county of Luther Fields, a small commuter town south of the city. You know what to do, just a few small differences this time. You now have 2 times as many build slots. You can now choose your next building from either of the cards in the white bracket area. Oh, the excitement! Us government employees need to appreciate the little things.
Lainey is just precious, isn't she?
I've also thrown some new buildings into the mix. This is a green. Yes, the card is yellow, get used to it. It's one of my favorite entry-level cards. It lets you choose a tile around it to give +1 to. Super useful! All you have to do with a green is place it where you want as normal. Some blue icons will then appear to show you where you can apply the card's buff. Just select where you want to apply the buff. Easy. If you decide to cancel the placement after you have clicked, you can do so by clicking the X icon that appears over the chosen build position. If you ever get confused about what a card does, you can right-click on any card at any time in the game to have a closer look and find out more about what it does.
And that is actually super powerful. If you're getting into this, just right-click on everything if you forget what something does.
You need to develop the land without running out of lives. This bar here shows you how close you are from completion. It will fill with blueness as you clear columns.
Blueness.
One more thing.
Yeah.
The column target is now set at 3. Nothing you can't handle, right? Good. I'm going back to City Hall. I've got so much paperwork to do with the coming election. Catch you later.
Okay, let's get started, shall we? So let's place a bit of a foundation. We're aiming for a score of 3. So let's start filling up some area here. A green here, and a car wash here. It already gets this to 2 and 3 right there, so I need 2 houses. This factory I just want to kind of get rid of. So, I don't know, I'll just dump this somewhere. There is fine. And the brewery as well. Now, there's other mechanics that actually come with some of these industry cards, but we don't have any of that open right now. So there's not really a ton we can do with it. I'm going to go ahead and set up a house there. This house is going to go here to get us to our 3 points, but I don't want to worry about that right now. I kind of want to build up some combos. So, let's go ahead and work on that, shall we? Let's see here. Let's do a house. Maybe a supermarket here. A library. Oh, let's see. I was going to do something like this. I guess it really won't matter how it slices. Library there. Let's chuck a school there. Houses here. So again, this is the place I want a house, but I'm trying to really build up some super duper points. Okay, this gets a little awkward, doesn't it? Let's do a shops here to neutralize that. Could do a park square here. Houses, then another house is there to kind of clean that up. Let's do, oh, I don't know. Supermarket there seems good to me. I gotta get rid of this factory. Let's see here. I do have this green. I don't really have as many houses as I would like. So let's do that for 3. Let's do factory, brewery, car wash, green, houses, and houses. Okay. That should get us some nice combo. And as you see, the more times we chain our combos together, the more bonus points we get. There we go. Very nice. So, this game is pretty straightforward as the first few levels go. There's added complexity as the game continues, which is nice. Let's see here. School, shops, green, houses. I could ditch the factory and brewery right here and no one would know. Let's do that. Again, that's stuff that's used later. It's not really used right now, so I'm not super worried about it. Let's see here. Supermarket, Park Square, house, car wash. I could easily chuck the school here, and that'll get us back up to snuff. I like that. Sorry if I'm moving a little quick, but a lot of this stuff, like I said, I got to like level 3 or whatever, and I was like, you know what, this has a good feel to it. I like it. Let's give it a go. Something like that. Let's see, where can I dump some shops? Not really anywhere safely, and I want this school for a combo. Let's just chuck the shops here, houses here, and the school here. Not too super, but not too bad, right? And let's see, can we squeezle this in? Aha, you can. Okay, so before it makes that ding, you can actually sneak in little add-ons. That's cheap, but I like it. Okay. Supermarket, brewery can just go somewhere else. Factory somewhere else. Let's get some houses. Once I deploy the Park Square, that's gonna kind of end it. Let's see if we can maximize our time a little bit here, shall we? Let's see here. Houses. Car wash. Green. Shops. Houses. School. Green. Supermarket does me no good. Let's just finish up the last house. Not bad.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, I forgot to mention, this game actually has a leveling system, and as you level up, you unlock more cards. I'm not explaining all the mechanics of all the numbers and stuff. Lainey will do that for me later. Okay, Caribou City. The Grapefruit District. What do I need? It actually doesn't say. Oh, redeveloping, deck building, 700. Okay, let's get started.
Did you hear the news? Caribou City has a new mayor, some guy called Selfridge. Can't wait to meet him. But welcome to Grapefruit District. As you can see, there's not much going on here. So it's a perfect site for redevelopment. You've been doing really well, so I think I'm going to give you a bit more control today. Up until now, you've been using a preset selection of cards. I'm going to change that by teaching you the basics of deck building. You always start the game with 12 cards. These are basic entry-level cards. and most of the ones you've been using so far fall into this category. You can tell a card's level by the colored triangle in the top right. This gray-pink color represents a basic level card. Remember, you can always right-click on a card at any time to find more details about it, including its level. There are some other numbers here too. Let's start with the one in orange. This number is the card's expenditure cost. When you play this card, the number here gets added to this bar in the top right. When this bar fills up due to accumulating expenditure from your buildings, your column target will increase by 1. So that makes everything harder, since then you need to reach that higher target for your future columns. In other words, high expenditure costs are something you want to avoid, as it will make your column target increase faster. But seeing as almost every building has an associated expenditure cost, it's inevitable your target will increase eventually. This other number in yellow here is a bit more positive. This is the card's economy point contribution. In a similar fashion, this number gets added to the yellow bar in the top right. I'll show you what happens when the economy bar fills. Let's place some buildings that are good for our economy. You now have a purchase. You get one every time the yellow bar fills to its maximum. We can spin this on a new card to add to our deck. Look, a new button. This button opens the card shop, and that's exactly what it sounds like. You'll get a choice of 4 random cards to add to your deck.
Just adorable, right? Look, a new button. Okay. So, this uses our purchase to add a new card to our deck. Fairly straightforward. We now understand the 2 colors right here. I'm going to go for this theater. And now it's just added to our deck.
Good choice. That should keep you going for a little while.
So we need to balance both the yellow and the red, the expenditure, and the... This is usually regarded on cards as economy. Granaries and other cards that we'll get, I think, next mission. Maybe it's a mission after, I don't know. But I was doing some looking in like a wiki to see what all these cards do. They add, it's like, adds 2 points after that to economy. So we'll need to keep an eye on that as well. Anyway, let's get started. This is going to be a little tricky, actually. And shops. Okay, this won't be too bad. A little finicky, but we'll be okay. So, school. Theater will finish that off. So, houses. Park Square right away? I don't see why not. The theater's gonna go there, so I need to save that. Houses. Houses, school. You kind of see where I'm going with this. The game flows fairly easily as you start off, so it's like this, and this, and this, and this. Also, I'm only limited to like 5 or 6 different kinds of cards, so it plays pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and let's claim a few more points. Why not? Now, don't forget, because these columns get spent, I called them rows earlier, because these columns get flushed out, it's a waste to not use everything that we can, right? So, restaurant. So, see how there's the red and the blue? Maybe this wasn't explained super duper well, and it took me actually a couple seconds to figure it out. Because these 3 items here are not point collecting structures, but this house is, I can dump this here and have no ill effects. The tile here got damaged, but it's not that big of a deal. Cool, another purchase. Let's do another green. Okay, let's dump this factory. And let's get moving. Oh, actually, I could just use this green to sedate my needs. Nope, I need the theater, actually. There we go. So we're going to get some bogus points. Yep, and then 7 times 7, 49. Nice money, nice money. And then, of course, the chain reaction multiplier is really what's giving me the points, right? That's really where it's at. Let's just get started. Houses. Let's get a house up here. House here. I was really hoping for a school or something. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. How about something like that for a green? Ah, there's our school. Excellent. Houses, houses. School's coming up. Not too bad. This is actually a little bit of a no-no. Not super sure how I'm going to handle this. I might actually have to take some damage. Gosh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, because this is only going to increase by 1, and I don't have anything that increases stuff by 2. Yeah. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Alright. Factory, I guess. Factories and breweries and crap are really easy to just stash away. So, brewery. Oh, actually, you know what? I just thought of something. I read this wrong. I can easily make this work. There's a green. There's a green. Chuck a house, we're good. So, house. Let's see, where can I stash this? Factory can go right there. A factory could go here as well. I'd like to clear a little more land, though, and see where we're at for points. So let's see here. House. And house. And if I hit a green, that would work out wonderfully. Huh. I've actually been playing this a little gutsy, to be honest. Let's just chuck a house and advance. There's our 9. Another 9. Another 9. So 999 is 27 plus 40 bonus points. As you can see, again, that chain reaction is worth way more than the individual chemical plant. Wow, that's a lot of economy, though. Let's go with a library, something that's actually a little helpful. Okay. So this is the end goal. We're going to build over here. Let's get a restaurant. Okay, so it just said +1 to future columns target. Doesn't matter because the trophy's right here, so I do not care. Gosh, there's so many factories. What is it with this? Okay, let's see if I can avoid any more factories, because that's actually really annoying. There's fine. Okay. Library would seal the deal here, so I'd be pretty happy with that. Let's do a brewery there. I need a shops. Shops there looks good, and again, because it's not a point collector, Bazamo. And a house. And... oh, right, I can't use that as a house. That, but a school, that'll help. Oh, the park square right there will get me really, really close. So let's see here. I want to see if we can get this all cleaned up way before we hit the trophy. So a green here. Let's see. It's a library I need here. I might need a park square here. A green here. A house here. A library here. Holy crap. That got a little dicey. But it worked. And we're going to get some good bonus points too.
Another area complete.
Awesome. 3 stars? Tell me 3 stars. Yeah. Awesome. A grove. If adjacent tiles points are 0 or lower, set it to 1. Interesting. Okay. So I think that's good for one episode. This was just a really quick taste of Concrete Jungle. Man, I just spaced it a second there. I really enjoyed this game. Like I said, this is really one of those classics that I feel it's diverse enough from other games. You've probably played similar puzzly games before, and it's like, oh, it's just like whatever. Honestly, I feel like this one stands out enough on its own to make it fun and enjoyable. That's why I'm sharing it with you all, because if it's a game I enjoy, I want to share it with the world. So, thanks for joining me. My name's John Megacycle, an episode of Concrete Jungles in the Books. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to catch you next time. Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Thanks for checking out my video. I also want to take a moment to thank all my supporters and donators, and if you'd like to join up with me and game with my crew, all the information to get connected is in the description below. Thanks again, and I hope to catch you next time.